Man of Tomorrow. Man of Tomorrow was the sequel that was announced essentially. Put Steph over here too. So let's discuss the Man of Tomorrow, the story, and more. James Gunn was talking about Man of Tomorrow story and more. And here it is. DC Studios co-chief and filmmaker James Gunn has offered further details about his upcoming Superman follow-up film Man of Tomorrow, appearing on the Howard Stern Show. Hey now. Gunn says the basic premise of the film is a story about Lex Luthor and Superman having to work together to a certain degree against a much, much bigger threat. Gunn also confirmed via Screen Time that filming on the project aims to kick off in April of next year, ahead of its July 27 release. Continuing on about other DC projects, he tells Stern that his casting Amelia Alcock as Supergirl might be the best bit of casting he's ever done in his entire life. Wow. And I think she's absolutely stunning in the movie, he says, referring to the upcoming Supergirl film opening next year. Gunn also confirmed he originally wrote the role of Peacemaker for Dave Bautista. Wow. But they couldn't pay him a lot, and he went where the money was. That led to John Cena and the show we got. Gunn adds, I think I love the Peacemaker show more else than anything I've ever done. The comments came as Samba TV via DC Film News has revealed Superman has drawn 527,000 watch households in his first 3 days of PVOD. To put that in comparison, Thunderbolts, which also did well, drew 449 in its first 6 days. The live-action How to Get Trained Your Dragon did 423, and Mission Impossible drew 618. So Mission Impossible, that buried the lead there. Mission Impossible was the 618. So, all right, Steph, you hear all this, and I guess first things first, what do you think about the story?
I'm excited with Lex Luthor being with Superman. I think that's awesome. It makes a lot of sense in terms of just like pure chemistry for a few reasons. Like the pure chemistry of the two leads, they've clearly really enjoyed working with each other. They were great on screen together. There's that tension there, and kind of that hatred on Lex's side. My only thing that I'd really want to see is kind of the like an actual turn, which I do trust James Gunn in having that built in with the character instead of just like all of a sudden, he's like down to work with Superman. I'm excited to see what that story looks like of how that actually works out and the character impact that will have on the both of them. But with Millie Alcock being great casting, that fires me up. I mean, I feel like everyone saw her on screen in the first episode of House of the Dragon and was like, okay, who's this queen? And so that makes a lot of sense. I like that he's really excited about all of the choices that they've made and moving forward. And this story makes sense to me. Like I would be happy with moving beyond Lex because we had such a solid start and finish with him in the first Superman. But I'm also excited about the opportunity to keep exploring him because Nick Holt is such a great actor, and the two of them together, there's just so much tension, which makes for a great story. So I'm looking forward to it.
I've been getting a lot of comments lately. I've been taking care of myself, and people keep asking me like, what's your secret? What have you been doing? And I said, yes, look, working out, doing some stuff, exercise, it helps tremendously, but it's really all about diet. It's about what you're putting in your body. And I'm telling you, man, Factor has been crucial to that journey. So Factor, you get so many different meals and so many different options, 65 weekly meals made for how I live, how I eat. I got so many more ways now to fit in a real meal whenever the day takes me. And it gets tricky for me, especially during the screenings and everything too. I need something, and I got it through Factor. So the way it works, you choose from a wider selection of weekly meal options. It can be seafood choices. I love seafood. I love salmon. I love shrimp. No extra cost. You can support your wellness goals. You savor your global flavors. For the first time, try Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors influenced by China, Thailand, and some more. For more choices to better nutrition, that is why 97% of customers say that Factor helped them live a healthier life. Put me in that 97%. Feel the difference, no matter your routine. I've been checking it out. You should be checking it out. Go and use it. Eat smart at factormeals.com/Christian50off and use that code Christian50off. You get 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That is the code Christian50 off at factormeals.com for 50% off your first box plus free breakfast for 1 year. That's the deal. Get delicious, ready to eat meals delivered with Factor. Offer is only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Yeah, I'm very interested into seeing it, and clearly this has been something he's been working on, because you can't be like just randomly, oh, you know what? Now I want to do a Lex and Superman story. It was probably in the works for a while. They wanted to see if it was going to do well, but I don't want to keep rehashing it. This is a direct sequel.
Yeah.
This is a
Yes.
direct sequel. Yes.
Yes, it's what I wanted. But yes, it is.
It's a direct sequel. It just happens to be focusing in a little bit more on Lex, but this is clearly a sequel when you go off the events of what happened in the last one into this one, and it very well should be, especially when you look at the numbers of what we talked about at the very end there, with the streaming numbers doing very well. And I don't know. I think it works with how they're planning this out, and it's interesting to see then him transition into the fact James Gunn on Stern talking about his casting stuff, and not only saying that Millie Alcock is the best hand of casting that he's done. He also said that Peacemaker is like the most fun he's ever had. And I don't know if I don't believe him. I think I do believe him. I think he believes what he's saying at the point. I just think that sometimes it's hard to, and not just him, it's anybody, when they're promoting something in general or getting people hyped up, that when they say something, you're like, okay, but yeah, that's what you said last time. I got accused of it. I used to get accused of it all the time. When I'd be like, okay, I'd be hyped. This is one of the most famous things that I've ever did. No, famous things, most fun things I've ever done before in my life. I'm so excited. I've had more fun doing this than anything. Like, that's what you say about everything. And it's like, yeah, but I mean it. It's like, and he very well might mean it also, but the audience can also say, well, wait a minute, but you said that. Do you really mean that? What about this person? And then the other thing about the actors, what if that's the best casting I've ever done? David Cornstar goes, what about me? Or
Right.
if somebody else says, what about me? It's the most fun, my favorite thing I ever did. And Guardians of the Galaxy cast goes, what about us?
Right.
So it's like, it's honest, but it's also like, maybe be careful.
Yeah, it is. It's also, yeah, I mean, I definitely would probably feel some type of way if I was one of his previous castmates, but I do think there's a recency bias that we all fall prey
Sure.
to, and it's, if anything, it's a good thing. I think life should keep getting better. We shouldn't be, focused on what we did in the past. So it's probably for the best, but I also thought it was interesting about the Dave Bautista bit.
All right.
I only see John Cena as Peacemaker, and it's so funny because at the time that he got cast as Peacemaker, I wasn't on the John Cena train. I wasn't yet there. And then when I saw like his first 10 minutes as Peacemaker, I was like, oh my God, this is so, him and
Right.
Idris playing off each other was one of the funniest pairings that I've seen on screen. And then he just continued to somehow win me back even after he killed Rick Flag. And it
Yep.
was like, you hated him, and then he just brings so much to the character and I'm surprised that his paycheck was less than Batista, because I just feel like that's pretty
He
shocking to
probably
me.
took
But
a
I feel
deal. He probably took a deal.
okay, such a good choice by John Cena, because I feel like Peacemaker is such a beloved character and now becoming like so massive in this universe.
Yeah, because think about it. If at that point Batista's coming off of I try to hide the chicken. I can't do that. I get chipmunk cheeks. And I need to do it.
You
Otherwise,
just let me know. Yeah, you have to eat right after you work out. I hear you.
have to. Otherwise, it just grouchiness and terrible.
Well,
But
Harry also tells me, he's like, "Don't, you just wasted your workout if you don't
if you
eat
don't
right
eat,
after."
you gotta
Yes, because your body like eats away the muscle basically that you were building.
break it down. Um,
Yeah.
but to your point, the Peacemaker thing with John Cena. Remember, yes, massive wrestler, one of the more famous and put in the category of when they talk about greatest of all time. He's always thrown in that. I don't think he is, but I think he's always in the conversation.
Right.
But he wasn't a big movie star. He was in he was in Trainwreck, he was in all those other movies, but he wasn't in that kind of place where you're like, oh, we got to get John Cena. Batista was, because of Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
So that's why at that point, and Batista wanted to do other things, and Batista probably was jumping back and forth between wanting to probably not just do comic book stuff, and you can see he's
Right, he had
really
Knives Out and, like, a few
other
other
things.
more
Yeah.
grounded action films, yep.
He was, I think, his best work. He's great in the Dune movies, but he is so underrated in that Shyamalan movie, the whatever the cabin movie was, whatever it was.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
He was great in that. He normally Shyamalan is the star of his movies. Batista shines in that film. Shines in that film. He's really, really good. But I like that Batista didn't take this either. I agree with you. I think because everything that you just said, same page. I always thought John Cena was a little too corny and cheesy. I thought he was good in Trainwreck. I thought he was terrible in Bumblebee, like terrible. I thought he was in a different movie. Thought he was in a different movie, and I was like, yeah, he's just kind of corny. I don't
Very
know if
G.I. Joe, like, right, yeah. It
yeah, and
was
I was
it
like,
was felt one-dimensional, and now I'm obsessed.
he was so good in the Suicide Squad. That is the only reason he was so good in the Suicide Squad that I was like, I even entertained the idea of watching Peacemaker. I was like, but he was so good in Suicide Squad. If they can carry that over, I'm gonna be into this. And I was very much into it. And I'm enjoying the second season. I'm gonna watch the what's it, fourth episode? That's the fourth.
I think is it
Fourth or
the
fifth?
it might be the 5th. I'm one behind. I need to catch up.
Okay.
But I'm really loving that.
Yeah, I was the first one was like was good. Second one I thought was good. I love the third one. I think it was the
Love
third
the
one.
third. Yep.
The third is the where in the third one, if it was the third, what did you see in the third one? Oh, this is the fourth coming up, right? The fourth is coming up now.
Okay.
Yeah, the third was I think the one that we so did have you seen the third one?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I just say when he jumps into the building and starts doing things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the third one. Yep.
There's a moment that happens, and I can just say, which is hilarious because on my show I had the same experience where someone goes, "What happened?" But there's a "what happened" moment in Peacemaker. I laughed so hard, Steph. I couldn't believe that it happened. It was so abrupt, and I lost it. It was, wait, what
That's like
happened?
the parts of Peace. There was one other in like the first episode where I was like, wait, what did you guys do? I forget what
So
it was.
good,
But yeah.
so
Yeah.
good. Okay, put your thoughts in there about James Gunn's comments. I want to know what you're thinking about.